Hello gamers, happy Pride Month. Welcome back to the stream and or YouTube channel. I don't know which one this is going to be ending up going on more often, but today I'm going to be starting a series about League of Legends theory. And before I can start that series, I need to educate you on what League of Legends theory is and can be. Now, first of all, we need to talk about why even need League of Legends theory. What's the purpose of League of Legends theory? The purpose of League of Legends theory is to be able to give yourself just the tiniest or largest, depending on the theory, edge against your opponents that you can apply in specific, but hopefully not too specific situations. It's doing the things that are untested, it's doing the things that are unknown, or the things that you need to really think about League of Legends in a diverse, different, more unique way. Things of this nature that you've seen before in the past. I mean, if you're my audience is mostly in the NA and LAN scene, so my at least my targeted audience. Uh, so if you think back to Cloud9's lane swap and Scion strategies that they were doing in the spring finals, Max is I don't know him, so I can't call him Max, but I don't remember his last name. But I'm gonna call him Max. I believe that's the coach's name that came up with that. Great job, phenomenal. That's League of Legends draft theory, right? That's like applying a different, unique identity to the game and changing the pace of the game in accordance with how your team could possibly play it. There are three things you need to think about when coming up with a theory in League of Legends. Firstly, is what are you or your team capable of? So what is the capability? Eh. All right. I said it out loud, so we know it's there. What's the capability? So for me in Fuego, for example, we're restricted by one, the language barriers that we have, two, the amount of time that we've had, three, health restrictions. I mean, some of our players are sick and have been sick and have swapped in and out. Some of us are doing school, right? Um, we've had a roster issues. We've had a lot of issues actually, and I think in Fuego we've had DDoSing problems and whatnot. So for Fuego, I have to think about what my capability is on that team, and you are the only judge of that. I cannot give you a guide on what your capability can or cannot be. It is completely contextually based on what you and your team is capable of. This is mostly aimed at coaches, but players, hey, feel free, join in. Welcome to the party. This is also completely aimed at competitive environments. This is not for your solo queue. This is for people in NA and LAN who are playing Battlefy Saturday tournaments, or hopefully an NA Academy team or a LAN LVP, I believe is the region. Um, or maybe even the LCS coaches get a hold of this and start looking at the future videos, or maybe the one I'm going to share one strategy slash theory that I implement often in my coaching, which I'll get into in a moment. But you are the person who can determine the context of the situation and what your team is capable of. So you always have to measure what theory you should present, what theory you should really be chasing after, based off the capability of your context and your situation. In my life and in general, I hold myself to one major tenet, and that's context is king. I don't like to make an understanding of an opinion or a judgment without contextual information. So keep that in mind before you do anything. So you have to understand what the capability is. Second thing you have to understand is what is the practicality. So is it actually like possible in League of Legends? Are you picking a draft? Are you doing a comp? Are you doing a strategy in League of Legends that can feasibly be achieved on a basis good enough to practice it and understand it? Right? This is the thing that's going to catch most people. The third thing will catch a few people too, but this is the thing that's going to catch a lot of people. A lot of people have a lot of outlandish ideas with very niche scenarios that may or may not work in certain situations. Most often, you can see failed build attempts, not looking at the practicality of them, the gold efficiency, etc., etc. Right? And strategies and things of that nature. You might be giving up too many resources in an attempt to go for a risky play, and therefore the practicality is actually quite low, especially when you've already done it before in the past. So it's less just shock value and shock capability. So you always have to entertain the practicality of the strategy you're doing, And you know, if you want to win one game at a best of five because you're gonna do some crazy invid play, go for it, dude. You just have to understand that that practically isn't going to happen again relatively well if you're in a very good region. If you're in a bad region, do it again. Who cares? But if you have to think about the practicality. If you're in a situation that it can be viewed and a counter strategy can be developed, then it's not an incredible practical thing, and the value of the theory is nonetheless. And then the last thing is no assumptions. So this is hard to do because in theory, in general, in scientific theory and things of that nature, sometimes they will make assumptions. Although, and this is why this is part of the rule, is because they don't try to. They try to stay away from making as many assumptions as possible. Um, so you have to base it off of real evidence. It has to be practical evidence, and you have to be able to implement it, right? So I'm going to talk about my League of Legends theory, one of my many. I'll be making many videos for each of them. Some of them will be long videos, some of them will be short videos. But I will keep posting 2 or 3 a week, hopefully, in the foreseeable future, just sort of talking about League of Legends theory. And this is, and for the record, I'm not monetizing anything. This is all for the sole purpose of making League of Legends in North America, League of Legends in LAN, a higher standard of play. Because I can't control the ping problem for professionals in North America, but I can control the depth of strategy. I can control how bad our drafts are, you know, things of that nature. Those are things that I have legitimate impact and things on, right? I can't control the ping. That sucks. It's a bad situation. But anything else I can implement, I can try to get my word out there and try to get my mind out there because I love League of Legends. I love North America. It's my country. It's my homeland. Canada too. Don't just count out Canada. It's USA and Canada, baby. We're together. So keep that in mind. This strategy is known as the honeypot or the open door strategy. Other coaches may have done this in the past. For the record, I'm not trying to claim unique ownership of anything I'm doing, but everything I am saying is coming from my own mind. It might be a subconscious thought that I saw or read in some article or some video or talked to someone, and then it sort of spurred into this. And I might be stealing. I'm not trying to. I'm not actively looking to steal. That's not what I'm trying to do. All these are sort of coming through me. But if it is similar to a coaching thing, cool. We have the like minds. Let's talk about honeypot or open door. The theory of open door is, can we control enemy movement indirectly? The answer is absolutely yes. Let's say we are at like, oh, I don't know, 14 minutes, third Drake, and we are blue side. We are drafting a team composition that wants to play in certain areas on the map more than other areas. For example, let's say we're running oh, I would say like an Ornn or a Cho. We'd be running a Rumble. It says Bumble, I don't care. We'd be running, I want this to be a Seraphine support more than I want this to be a Seraphine mid lane. So this is a Seraphine, and then this could be any number of things. I mean, you could look at Orianna, you could look at Yone, you could look at Silas, you could look at LeBlanc. Hell, you could look at full AP Malphite. There are a lot of things you could be doing here. For the sake of simplicity, we'll say it's a LeBlanc because I think that's secretly the best mid laner in the game right now as of 6/3/21. And then this is going to always, 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 always be a Varus or a Misfortune. Nothing else. So when you look at this team composition, what do you think? Where do you think if they want to fight? That's obviously a rhetorical question, but it's corridors. Stuff like this. Right? These are the areas you want to fight. This is a bit too long. It's still an okay area to fight. Like, it's still good at fighting neutral Drake. But you want to fight as they come into Drake, right? That's because Seraphine R and Rumble R work incredibly well together. All of these champions can generate a pick, assuming your allied champions are nearby. So, how do you get them into the corridor indirectly? Really easy. You show them through movement of using your champion on the map where you've been warding. So you make an active choice to show, like right here, and feign a dive. like you wanted to dive this mid laner, right? And so they would respond eventually, and then things would kind of settle. But that means if it's a grid team, and this is, for example, by the way, this is an assumption, but not really. This is more about the capability of the team. These are really good teams. These are challenger level teams. These are people who think about the game critically. So you would show here, or like here, or here. You would challenge, or you would walk up to a jungler, right? And then you would be warding like here, here, here. Okay. And then your pinks would be like here, here, and I don't know if it's ocean, then here. Um, maybe here, right? Those are where your pinks would be. And then all you do is you do this at about the 1 minute 20 second timer before Drake. That's around the area. You can be 10 more or 10 less seconds, and if you're into a better team, you have to do it earlier. Because they're gonna understand that that's what you want to do. But that's like way more theory way down the line, and nobody's that good at League of Legends except the best of the best, and they don't care about my channel. So for us, for the plebeians in North America, you want to do this at like 1 minute 20 seconds. So you go there, you act like you put the words down, or you do put the words down. Doesn't really matter. I would prefer you put the words down so you can lay the trap. You do not interact with this, and you intentionally leave this turret up. Why? Because you want them to think that they don't have to move into this location, that this is an uncontested area that they have control of, that they can move freely in. Now you may be thinking, well, if you want them to move freely in this area, why not put them here? It's like, well, if they want to actually go to Drake, right, and you just took this area, and this area, and you blinded this portion off, right, they're going to want to retake this area before coming into Drake. So what you would do then, from this position, is instead of going back to Drake, right, you would go mid lane, challenge this wave with like, you first of all, you would show your top laner right here. And then you would challenge this wave with, I don't know, one of these four other characters. And then the other three characters, and then this character would favor up to the top river, right? Making it look like he's getting vision over here and he's looking at this area and he's moving over here, so they have less of a grouping in this position. That's going to incentivize the enemy team to be like, okay, this guy's moving up here, their top laner's over here, Drake's spawning in a minute, let's go get vision. We saw they were in this side of the quadrant, so they could have wards right here and here and here, and they're going to ping where the wards are. And then one or two members of their team are going to go and venture into this side of the jungle while this person deals with the wave that was just shoved, while this guy's matching his top laner, and while bot laner's doing his bot laner thing. Right, so your jungler and your support, at best, are going to be in this area a minute before Drake spawns. It's third Drake, at best, coming into this area. All you have to do is just have a Seraphine right here, a Rumble right here, and a Varus or a Misfortune or a LeBlanc. And this person who's coming here to clear this ward is dead. And they came in this way because they knew that there were wards here. They knew that there were wards here, right? You incentivized that they wanted to come in through this way. Now, if you're playing into a worse team that doesn't really care about the fact that you're warding and actually just cares about what the safest route for themselves are all the time, then you would just vice versa this. You would do the counter logic to this, which is counter logic CLG XD. You would put your wards in this area, in these quadrants, so then they feel like they can enter in through this way, and then you just kill them as they enter in through that way. And what happens if they grouped? You love the fact if they're grouped. Your Rumble Seraphine. You just put your R's down and they die. That's why you drafted the composition. And then you go get your free Drake, and then you stack Drakes, and Drake Soul wins games. So you go get your Soul, you keep scaling because you have a really good scaling composition. You get picks with the LeBlanc, you rinse, you repeat, you continue this sort of indirect positioning of the enemy team on your own. Now, what assumptions are we making in this? We're making a few assumptions. We're making that they want to challenge Drake. This could be a team composition that wants to be favoring split pushing and going on the opposite side of the map. All you have to do on that favor is just make sure that your Ornn's playing weak side correctly. So, you know, he's willing to give up this turret. He's willing to give up the vision in these quadrants. And he's willing not to die. That's just being able to... You can implement this when you have the capability, right? This is why at the beginning of this strategy, I talked about how we were good teams that were thinking about these things. So our top laner, you know, would go get the Team Liquid Impact experience. We're the greatest weak side player in the history of North America and probably the world. Except maybe for Yahoo. And you just go over here and you just chill. That's all you gotta do. And then, you know, they're going to get 250 golds between two members of their team and experience. They might get Herald and they might get 350 golden experience. Whoop-de-doo, you just got an Infernal Drake. Congratulations, here's your gold value. And you just rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Other things you can do to impact the positioning of where they want to be. You crash a wave mid lane around the time that you want them to be here, because that means the mid laner's locked here, right? So they're not going to be grouped. Or if you do want them to be grouped, you just let the wave be here. You act like your person's here and your person's here, and you guys are all fine and dandy, right? And you just get that pick. Sometimes you don't even need to bring 3. Sometimes you only need to bring 2. Just sort of depends on the composition you're running and what you're trying to do. I mean, a Shadow Kane and anybody with CC, and this guy's just dead. um, so that's the gist of what the honeypot strategy is, and I implement this all the time in my team. I try to. I implement this in the teams I other coach for like Battlefy and all that other stuff, and for other things I do. And so that's the gist of what League of Legends theory is and how I'm going to be presenting it. It's always going to be like a different thing. You know, sometimes it'll be drafting, sometimes it'll be team comp, sometimes it'll be map positioning, sometimes like this. Sometimes it'll be things that you can do to affect your opponent, things you can do to react to an opponent, right? And things that go down that kind of line. Anyway, I just wanted to get this video out there. It's technically late for me. I haven't slept. It's 6:50 in the morning, so I'm going to be heading off. But thank you for watching through the video and walking through my theory with me. If you have any critiques, please leave them below. I love being wrong. It helps me become more right in the future. So, love you guys and have a good day.